Egypt and the classical world cross-cultural encounters in Antiquity. I am Isis, the role of speech in the cult of Isis. Child will die. Whereas Isis's communication with Osiris went in one direction, with the child Horus Greek, Harpocrates from her Parcarid, Horus the child, a dialogue can be imagined, and indeed in one demotic text it is probably Isis asking the divine child about the violation and restoration of the world order. This text, which is difficult to understand, has no known parallel, and is probably best understood as a narrative interpretation of the well-known Horus myth, perhaps in the context of an Isis oracle in a temple or in the field of domestic magic. Much clearer is spell 6 of the so-called Metanike Stela, a Sippus of Horus from the reign of the 30th dynasty pharaoh Nectanebo IR 362–342 BC. This spell is introduced with the words I am Isis. It is not only Isis, however, who speaks. Isis is said to have left the spinning mill where her brother Seth, the murderer of Osiris, sent her to work in the evening. It is there that she meets Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom. He reminds her of the fact that Horus is the heir of Osiris, who one day must be enthroned as the ruler of Egypt. Come, divine Isis. It is also good to hear to others, and one lives when the other leads him. Why don't you hide with the young son, that he may come to us the gods, once his limbs are firm, and all his powers have been created, and you let him sit down on his throne, by granting him the office of ruler of the two countries. The utterance continues and reports how Isis is joined by 7 scorpions that gather together and, for somewhat obscure reasons, sting the daughter of a lady, who is then immediately inflicted with some sort of fever. Isis, who feels responsible, steps in and speaks. Come to me, come to me. Behold, my mouth has life. I am the daughter who is known in her city, because the worm gives way because of her utterance, after my father raised me to know. Isis manages to save the child from death, but more is to come. Her next words, repeated twice, are meaningful. They equate the dangers of the scorpion's poison with the fate of Horus, who appears to be in a similar situation. Here, we are dealing with ritual language, which creates emphasis and meaning through repetition. Oh, may the child live, and the poison die. May Ra live and the poison die. Then Horus may also recover for his mother Isis. Then the sick person may also recover. This speech introduces Horus as the prototypical sick patient, who can be healed through the power of his mother's magic words, and thus becomes the model for every sick person. Moreover, it lays the foundation for the healing power of Isis, which was one of her cult's most celebrated qualities during its triumphal proliferation throughout the Mediterranean. Spell 14 of the Metanike Stela makes clear where Isis's knowledge of healing and magic comes from. The power of Isis's language is probably most clearly expressed here, again in a self-description. I am Isis, the goddess, the owner of magic, who performs magic with powerful speech and with chosen words. In this episode, Horus, hidden in a papyrus thicket, appears to have been tracked down by Seth's marauding gang, stabbed by a poison-bearing animal, and left to die. Isis was at first powerless. Although she asked her neighbors, the inhabitants of the Nile Delta, for help, no one could assist her. Even her sister, Nephthys, did not succeed in saving the young Horus until Isis, as a last resort, called upon the gods for help. The sun was interrupted in its course because of the violence of her calling. Once again, it was Thoth who tried to calm Isis, but she called to him angrily. "Oh, Thoth, how great is your thought, but how hesitant is also your behavior. Behold, Horus is in need because of the poison, and his misfortune is such a bad one that the very needy child will die. It is because Isis is able to call upon others for assistance that Horus is saved."